Good morning, everyone. Hi, everyone. How are you? So this webinar, you won't be able to speak so much, but please feel free to use the chat box. Yeah, this is meant for you to use the chat box, and of course, when it comes to certain aspects of questions or anything, we could always allow you to speak. But let me, I think it's 9:32. What I'll do is I'll start the meeting. I'm audible, isn't it, Praveen?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, good. So, good morning, everyone. I see around about, yeah, 20 over people here. Thank you for joining us today. Lovely morning. If I may ask some of you, where are you dialing in from? If you don't mind putting in the chat box, if from JB, anybody from JB, Johor Bahru, can you put JB, JB, JB? Anyone from Johor Bahru? Are you able to like type it in the chat box? Sramban, okay, great. So South, yeah, okay, yeah, I see some coming in, JB, yeah. JB, maybe Senai or Pasir Gudang. Okay, Port Klang, nice, nice. Who's from Selangor? How many of you are from Selangor or South? Okay, Penang, yeah, nice, nice. I believe we also have some people from even as far as Thailand too. I think we saw in our registration. We saw in our registration some people from Thailand. Yeah, great. Sawadee Krap. So, good morning again. Yeah, we will probably start now because I think I don't want to delay further. My name is Dilip, and it's a pleasure to welcome all of you today to this webinar. It's called Digital and AI Transformation Towards Industrial Revolution 5.0. This session is organized in collaboration with our partners, Blue Ocean Data Solution and Link Compass Group. So we are the organizers, Pixel Pinnacle Technology. I would like to thank you for your time today, this morning, busy schedule you might be having, but truly appreciate the interest in learning and exploring how digital transformation, automation, and AI are reshaping the future of manufacturing and business operations. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you will gain quite a bit because we have three speakers. In fact, other than ERP and automation, you will also learn quite a bit on ESG related matters. Yeah, in Malaysia, it's a very important aspect in the manufacturing industry and the rest of the component of businesses. Whether you're joining from the manufacturing sector or supply chain, so we will provide the insights on the next phase of industrial transformation that is already happening. Okay. Just a little bit context about Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0. Yeah, 4.0, moving on to 5.0. So you might have had learned quite a bit about this 4.0 and 5.0. What is the difference here? So many organizations has been focusing in Industry 4.0, integrating technologies like automation, cloud computing, IoT, data analytics, into manufacturing and business processes. AI also, yeah. However, when we are entering the next phase, which is Industry 5.0, we are no longer entering anymore. We are already in 5.0. It is beyond just automation. So 4.0, automation started already. So now we are in 5.0. And in 5.0, it focuses collaboration between humans and intelligent machine. So, meaning to say, there is a little bit more progressive method of doing automation where continuous input from human and interaction makes the difference for 5.0, which is combining artificial intelligence, IoT, advanced analytics, Smart ERP system, not no longer just ERP system, smart ERP system, sustainable and ethical supply chain. This is also included. Yeah. In other words, the goal is not just efficiency, but also resilience, sustainability, and human-centric innovation. For companies in manufacturing supply chain today, now the key question you should ask in order to be aligned with 5.0, how do we automate workflow effectively? How do we connect machines, data, and ERP systems all together to work continuously? How do we use AI to improve decision making? And how do we align our operations with global ESG and compliance standards? These are some of the questions that you should be asking. How do you progress further in this 5.0 aspects? Yeah. Now, I would like to point out the objective of today's webinar is very importantly on our speakers who will be covering ERP automation and AI-driven analytics, AI and IoT solutions for smart manufacturing, and ESG and ethical supply chain sustainability in global manufacturing. So this is the aspect of our purpose and objective of our webinar today. By end of this session, we should be able to walk with clear understanding. It's very important to have a key takeaway here, whereby the technology is driving the industry 5.0, the practical steps for companies to take today, the approach to take today, and the strategic importance of digital transformation in staying competitive. Yeah. Otherwise, of course, you are here with our experts, and definitely you can also take away from here that you are guided by the experts, and feel free to talk to us, feel free to ask questions, feel free to contact us. Free consultation doesn't take too much of time, 10 minutes. We are able to give you a little bit navigation on what to do next. Yeah. Now, without much delay, I will basically introduce the speakers, although they will be taking their slots at the right time. But starting with, I will just introduce Mr. Praveen here, who is a founder and CEO of Pixel Pinnacle Technology, Pixel Care Consulting, who will be sharing insights on ERP automation, analytics, AI integration. Next, we will have Mr. Bong, who is a manufacturing and AI and IoT automation consultant from Blue Ocean Data Solution. Mr. Bong, who is well versed in automation subjects, and he will discuss how AI and IoT are transforming manufacturing operations. Yeah, he is going to touch on the industry revolutions also. And Dr. Johnny, who is the CEO and managing consultant of Lean Compass Group, who will cover the ethical manufacturing, supply chain transparency, ESG, and sustainability. Now, I would like to share the. If you are able to see my screen, this is the agenda for today. Walk through from 9:30 onwards. I hope everyone is able to see. It starts with Mr. Praveen here at 9:40 a.m. We will end the session, end the first session 10:20, and there will be a question and answers. Please feel free to put your questions along the way while the speakers are speaking to you, as well as Mr. Bong at 10:30 a.m. up to 11:10 a.m. and followed by question and answers as well. And the last being Mr. Dr. Johnny here, who will be speaking on road to ethical manufacturing, supply chain, global ESG, and sustainability. So he starts at 11:20 and we will end it at 12 p.m. with a question and answer being 10 minutes. So we are allocating quite a bit of time for question and answers. This is really important that you ask questions, because this is where interactiveness will happen, and it will be a lot more joyous for everybody's opinions and insights that will make the webinar more interesting. Let me. All right. So I have already introduced. I have already introduced the agenda, and I think before we begin, um, other than the question and answers, you might have already interacted with some of our staffs. And if you have any trouble, listening in to this webinar, or you have some question that has not been answered, please feel free to contact them via the email, or if you have the contact via the WhatsApp, feel free to message them. Yeah. So it is my pleasure to invite our first speaker, Mr. Praveen, who is the founder of Pixel Consulting, Pixel Pinnacle Technology, to begin the session on ERP automation, analytics, and AI. So feel free, Praveen, to take on your subject, and we will complete it in about 40 minutes. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. That's pleasure having you to listen into this webinar early morning. Nice to meet you all. And then my name is Praveen. I'm
Sorry,
calling.
Praveen, just speak a little bit louder. It's
Louder. Okay. Is this better?
I think so. Yeah.
Right. So I represent Pixel Pinnacle, like what Dilip introduced, and appreciate you guys joining this morning session. What we're going to do is to just try and understand how technology can bring us together or even transform businesses as well as things that's going on in the AI as well as mobility platforms and stuff. So we begin with a bit of a video here. This introduces the company in short so that I could skip some additional PPTs. So please allow me to share this and then you take a visual on this one. Yeah, then I'll get back to you with the proper presentation. You can see this, do you?
There we go.
Across Southeast Asia, businesses are moving forward, adapting, expanding, and scaling faster than ever before. Disconnected systems, scattered data, unclear decisions, productivity drops, costs rise, opportunities are missed. This is where Pixel Pinnacle Technology comes in. We help businesses simplify complexity and turn technology into a strategic advantage. Pixel Pinnacle Technology delivers integrated solutions designed to connect every part of your business. We enable transformation through mobility applications, web development, and AI-enabled automation and reporting, helping businesses move faster and work smarter. We implement SAP and related add-on products to unify operations, finance, and supply chains into one intelligent system. We deliver manufacturing solutions 5.0, including MES, QMS, QC, and CMS, giving manufacturers real-time visibility and control. With Pixel FSM, we streamline field service operations, connecting teams, schedules, and customers in one platform. With Xionic POS, we optimize restaurant and retail operations through fast, accurate, and connected point-of-sale systems. With our e-invoice solutions across Southeast Asia, we automate billing, reporting, and regulatory compliance across borders. We have been helping businesses to transform over the years with all our offerings, as well as our establishing extended partnerships with Alibaba, SAP, Blue Oceans, Computech, and many more contributing to our success. Each solution is designed to work together so your business runs as one connected system. Clear data, smarter decisions, systems that grow with your business. Pixel Pinnacle Technology. Productivity, growth, transformation.
Great. So thank you for listening to that. Now I'll just proceed quickly with the presentation deck. I'll have some 40 minutes time, so I'll try to keep it a little more paced out, and then it will give me time to sort of shared technology stack that we are capable of. And as you saw in the video, this is all about a parent product. So a child cannot exist without a parent product. So AI, mobility, anything extended on top of your operations is all about having an accounting platform or ERP at the back. And I notice some of you come from the ERP sections as well, yeah, as a company, and probably you're looking to enhance your capabilities in terms of transformation, manufacturing side, products, and so on. So I'll try to go through a specific flow whereby we'll just try to go introduce our company capabilities and also a bit of a demo as to what is happening in the AI world and some systems that you probably could relate to. So this entails a few things, which is more of the products and services, capabilities of the consulting within Pixel, as well as some of the AI and transformation. So as a company, we've been there for about 20 plus years, and the regional presence is there for a while that we've been supporting as far as the European or the American side or Middle Eastern side currently in problem. So otherwise, the Asia Pac has been fairly stable with offices within Malaysia, Philippines, as well as Singapore. So we've been helping companies, we've been partnering institutions, we have products that we have been able to capture along the way. Historically, some 12 plus years that we've been in the business, we came about doing anything of a development portfolio. From that forwards, we happened to work into domain ERP as well as we went on different countries. That being said, we have been fairly operating in terms of our clients who've been trusting us with our mission and vision that we intend to be cost effective, I would say value added for the monies that we receive, and also quality consulting. In most cases, we get leads, we get opportunities, and we fairly play this as one of you, as in we understand the nature of business, we understand the problems that you face, and we come in as one of you to resolve it together. So that means not only a standard consultation, we also get some advices whereby we might have touched a thing or two about such operations elsewhere in the region. So that gives us that knowledge base. The whole company has about 3 core values, and one of them is being integral. So that means that we have a very good bunch of customers who have been following quite a fair bit with us, about 5-10 years in existence, and they have been supported on a daily basis, and whatever that we do with them, they've been fairly satisfied. Innovation side, we've been always hunting for new products. On tops of ERP, the latest ones have been analytics, where we wanted to allow certain speech interactions or text interactions using some bit of AI, as well as mobility solutions. This is where we invest a lot of time and effort in products. And lastly, a customer service. Now, there are many ways we should reach out to our customers. We not only do this remotely, sometimes we get on call with them, Teams, we use a lot of document storage, SharePoints and stuff. We also entertain them by WhatsApp, creating WhatsApp groups so that our interactions are fairly quick. So such we have an SLA which is less than 2 hours and sometimes 15 minutes to be able to respond and even interact or troubleshoot the issues. So this gives customers or clients of ours a great deal of confidence where we are able to support them in the time of their need. So what we're looking at in terms of consulting centric activities are primarily digital transformation. And why it's digital transformation is only because there have been many instances whereby securities have been compromised, spamming has been occurrent as rampant as possible. There have been encryptions, there have been ransomware running around, and we tend to bring technology to the next level where we will adapt to cloud technologies, which is this point here. So that cloud technologies is one of our forte, where we intend to migrate an entire solution into the cloud and manage it over there. So that means you probably have be more secured in that sense. And these are spam free, these are fairly protected 24/7 accesses, as well as uh, ability to connect it anytime, anywhere. So these are more or less web related platforms. So anything native, convert to web, host it, transform it, make it easy, quick to access is what we do, right? And in terms of solution implementation, there are quite many. So one of such things that we are discussing later today with Mr. Bong is the IR, Industrial Revolution 4, version 5 of the manufacturing sector. Now, what happens over there is you may have a bulk of data sitting in operations, or maybe your front end operations is either manufacturing or retailing, or be it anything for that matter, logistics. At the back of it all, there's always a parent, which is fairly in the areas of accounting, inventories, as well as sales and purchase management. So the solution will typically take that route and then evolve out of it being extensions. So this is technical support we have, functional support, upgrades and migrations, and also audit compliances. So one of the audit compliances we recently embarked on was e-invoicing from Malaysia. So like most of us are here from Malaysia. So we have this accreditation with LHDN, and we managed to roll out quite many Bursa, non-Bursa, private, public, small, big enterprises into LHDN via integrating APIs and the host ERP or accounting-based system, irrespective of what ERP you use. So what does that tell us is basically the engagement, also the ability to communicate and all that with the government, depending on the criteria of such institutions. All right. So I'll just go to the next slide quickly. Um, Being in the industry, of course, you need to be able to capture some bit of knowledge in terms of core practices as well as operations and issues with, you know, workflow or supply chain or even end product management or tracing, tracking, all that. So there are industries that we have touched fairly deep, anything between natural gases, ONGs, pharmaceutical industry, retail side, logistics side, healthcare side, and many more. So what this does give us is a leverage on how businesses are evolving, what technologies are being utilized, and how do they work out a plan to improvise it. So one such product, again, we are discussing in SAP. Well, although the many things that we do. So why SAP is because we are a proper consulting house for SAP. And then this is something some of you may be familiar with. The bigger ERP as well as the smaller business one is something that we are capable of supporting. So that tells us that we can take up a system, do a bit of a maintenance, change requests, rollout, performance issues, hosting, securities, anything that is within the application, operating system, as well as database level. And of course, there are a lot of industry expertise around it, some tailored solutions. For example, SAP as an ERP is never the core in itself. You probably have to leverage on many extensions. So we do have mobility or portal-based extension wherever ERP gets limited. Now, each of you must be thinking, what can I see improve on top of the ERP, or what is it that the ERP is not able to provide me? And anything as little as a reporting to all the way to a workflow or some kind of integrated system, if any, the shop floor and stuff. So that is something that we'll be fairly capable of doing. And it happens to be in this sense because imagine all these would be a core of SAP: sales, purchase, operations, and this is something we know. But what happens over time is the data gets built up, becomes a big data, and a lot of times it has to be passing through some bit of flexibility to be extended to the mobile or a platform or analytics. In most cases, recently, we have been part of a large migration when it comes to physical to virtual, where we bring the host application into a cloud technology, make it available 24/7, make it robust and all that. And the other two things is all about what we could do for Internet of Things, one of which is the next discussion on manufacturing floor. So what happens is once you have a fair bit of organized inventory or a warehouse management, and then there's operations to perform that you are trying to basically keep the whole process lean or simplified, you have to have certain systems that can make it possible. If not, there'll be a lot of manual intervention here and there. Now, these things are handy and these things are necessary, unlike before, why this will then entail or even determine the future of your business and I would say being relevant in the market. Yeah. So this is something Mr. Bong next up will talk about. Um, for those who know SAP, there are these modules that we can fairly engage and as well as deliver. So there are a lot of modules: sales, purchase, service management, inventory, production, and so on. And extensions of all these will be something of a web client. I'll show you a demo on this one in a bit, a mobility piece, an analytics dashboard, which we can touch in a bit and all that. Now, what happens is implementers implement like us, and then they walk away the first time. Subsequently, it's always important that the customers or clients have been informed of the platform. They've been given the latest technology. They've been entertained in such a sense to check on them and to find out what is really going on in the operation. What more do they need for improvisations? And by nature, customers are very passive about it. And then it's always a challenge whereby a customer do not talk. So this is where we have this agenda to go out there and discuss a few things which is available to disposal, yeah, as a technology stack. Let me just get into the next slide. Now, what you see is a product which has been running fairly big in the market, 20 plus years, stable and all that. So there are a lot of implementation, a lot of improvements, a very big roadmap. So that only means a product will stay for some time and it doesn't just die out like any others in the market, right? One of such products which recently kind of phased out in the sense that not many people are using around Sage. NetSuite, the one popular product which we were also consulting, Acumatica, all these things couldn't last too much in the market. It's only because of the inflexibility or a core product capability that couldn't support the operations. Yeah. Products like AutoCount or QuickBase, all these are still around and fairly popular. It's only because they do the basics right. So these things are good plugins. We've been also working with such products. But when it comes to integrating processes, streamlining sales, purchase operations, and whatsoever, a proper ERP is what is recommended. This happens to be a metro sort of a roadmap where we can see how things can be connected in starting from customer journey or CRM journey over here. It becomes as purchase or sales management, delivery management, as well as invoice. Along the way, there's a purchase route, there's a sourcing route, there's a customer route, there's a case management using service call, there's payable management, cash management, also accounting related roadmap. So this is in a way easy to sort of communicate with prospects to tell them that how these things can be relevant or related. In some cases, unfortunately, they're not being established the right way or consulted the right way. Now, for those who are interested within the solution extensions, so this is just a technical pitching. So what happens is there are these technologies for databases, SQL, HANA, core SAP sits inside, which is just the application stack. And the extensions can be by writing scripts or even opening up some kind of a connectors using service layer and an integration framework. On top of it all, there could be some client mobility as well as analytics. And it all falls into a business case where you can look up to how SAP can build it, AI, machine learning, and industry. Now, picture this: without a proper finished good or a product, you cannot be selling anything pseudo in the market as, but you have to perfect that product within. So as such, within SAP, you have to perfect your ERP and operations prior to getting into anything that is cosmetically beautiful to look at, right? Now, I'll go into one of such AI sort of a technology for SAP, and I'm going to play a quick video as well about this right after so that you guys can take a visual of what technology has for today. What we're looking at is something called SAP Joule. And again, this is just one product out of the many things as a reference. And what it does is basically brings in a lot of automation to the whole dashboard of ERP or SAP in this case, where things can be fairly interactive in terms of either text to speech to speech, or speech to text. Along the way, there are some technologies like AI, LLMs, learning, I would say, and modeling and all that comes in along. Now, take a bit of a moment to just play that over. Yeah. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, please put them in the com box. One moment there. Maybe Deep, you have any questions in the group?
I don't see any at the moment. Yeah.
None, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a moment just so that I can draw them to some videos as well as some presentations after. Tell me if you see my next video already. There you go. So this product is called Joule, and this happens to be one of many things that SAP brings as an AI platform. I would like to take a moment for you to check this video out. Yeah, we'll take a moment. Just watch it through, please.
Joule revolutionizes how you interact with your SAP business systems, making every touchpoint count and every task simpler. For example, let's see how Joule helps a busy sales manager elevate customer engagement. In SAP Sales Cloud, they see an upcoming meeting with a new account. Joule creates an account summary in seconds, combining data from SAP Sales Cloud and SAP S/4HANA Cloud. This saves significant time and prepares them for an effective meeting. To prepare further, they use Joule to find the best fit products for the account. Joule extracts the customer requirements from an email message and passes the data into SAP Intelligent Product Recommendation. They get a best fit product without switching applications or entering data, saving what could be hours of work. Fully prepared for the meeting, they have time for the to-dos on their SAP Start page. An expense awaits approval, but they want to confirm it's within policy. Joule reviews company documents for them and returns the answer with sources, giving them confidence to approve the expense quickly. By simplifying tasks and providing answers grounded in their business data, Joule ensures the sales manager has time and insight to engage effectively with customers. A sales manager is just one of many business roles Joule empowers. From finance, procurement, supply chain, human resources, customer experience, and more, Joule is ready to assist, helping your employees get work done faster, smarter, and better, while maintaining control over decisions and data.
So then, thank you for watching this. I'll just try to go back into the presentation slide deck again. Now, I believe some of you have a fair bit of clue as to what this product does. Now, imagine from there forwards, you may have a requirement or something that you may have thought of to improvise in your operations. All you got to do is think of a plan to sort of simplify it, get on paper blueprints, or try to discuss with somebody who will be able to solution it. Now, irrespective of what you're looking for, believe me, there are a lot of things that can be modeled in today's market in terms of technological stack integrations, and hardly there are any limitations as before, right? Now, let me just walk you through a balanced few slides over here. And that particular video on top speed are looking to have some benefits of so-called generative AI. Now, what is a generative AI? What is LLM and all that? I'm not going to get into detail into all that, but let's just imagine a helper who is able to be there on demand. And that is not just about everything. It's only specific to a particular operations or a workflow that you have. So if assuming you're using some kind of inventory management system or a warehouse, so the warehouse will be able to talk to an agent and then pull for certain data information at the back and making simple or saving time in terms of interactions. So this is what we're looking at. One such product that, or rather, many of such products we have performed in the past. These are one of our recent developments. We carry a lot of emphasis on delivering custom solutions. Now, why not off the shelf? Why a custom solution is because over there, you probably have a right to keep the software or source codes. You may have a better development platform. If your company evolves, you're able to housekeep it well. And that's for non-standard ones, obviously. So the non-standard ones will always have a bad headache in terms of evolving processes, some bit of unstandard parts they take, and anything that in between. So we came about to do something which is outside of a generic ERP, where we are able to cut and paste the certain processes which are, a small roads around the highway. So these small roads go out and then they connect back wherever necessary, not having to disturb the highway. So the highway being ERP or standard or static solution, products like this will come in and operationally manage day-to-day activities, having some bit of integration. So as such, what we do here is not only have development for mobiles or as well as portal stack. We also have some smaller products which can come customized to your solution in the face of a warehouse approval, leave management, extra. Now, all of this can be part of a ERP data, can be part of a financial data when you manage expenses, end of the month and all that, your timesheets and so on. So you might want to consider looking into some of these developments if there are any. Furthermore, I'll just touch on some future transformation roadmap that we are looking to cater into anybody who is interested. What happens here will be a lot many times. Many customers or businesses are talking about process automations, anything from interaction with the flow all the way to the finance. For example, from financial point of view, if you have a recurring invoice like your utilities bill and you're paying this as a regular item every month, you know what, things like this can be automated using robotic processes. So robotic processes or RPA, what we call, are able to pitch into the product or ERP or an accounting, irrespective which, and then they're able to map such invoicing and then create some kind of a task or a recurring activity month to month. So this way, a finance person can probably put the energy into something better. So that is one robotic processes. It could be anything extended to warehousing, inventory, operations, sale or purchase, and so on. So process automation, a lot of people are now discussing, and there are a lot of AI bots or agents which can help all this. Now, how do we step in? Then again, you can't just buy every other cloth off the market and think that it will fit you. So we have to get into some specifics, understanding your nature of business, and that's where we try to analyze as well as present some kind of a case, how do you improvise. Then, of course, there's a lot of data analytics when you're trying to churn some kind of a historical purchase made on don't know which era, and then you want to be able to put it on a dashboard and check whether this vendor or the customer is still alive or interactive. Imagine a lot of customers do not keep a proper track of who they are dealing with transactionally. It is just day-to-day business. For whatever that you know from the past, you may have had a good relationship. Times were good. You could get a bulk of business, but guess what? That was a one-time business, and then you lost such a prospect. So CRM was not maintained. You may not have thought of going back to that particular customer or vendor to ask for more business. All this can be part of your data analytics capture, where you can see what has happened over a period of time. Above all is cloud integration. Now, what cloud integration does is flexibility. How many of you could be getting this sort of excuse where your staff say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't access the system. I'm home, I'm outside. Oh, I will do it on a Monday morning," and then things just get dragged up. With the cloud integration, you just need to use a phone. It's strange when I say that, but yes, either a phone or a tablet, you are able to populate or replicate the whole environment and then have it worked out on the go for any urgent issues, obviously. Yeah. Then there's many real-time insights, some kind of design around it, where you interact with the customer, and then you have some kind of analysis when it comes to mitigating things. When we talk about integration and cloud, obviously information is synced seamlessly, cost efficient. People will be thinking, hey, this thing I'm paying is just X amount. Now, if I go cloud and then I got to pay more, then I'm stuck and all that. See, you get stuck in things that you are not fairly made aware of. You won't probably get stuck if you ask the right questions and then a commitment. So if I have to get into a cloud environment, I'll be thinking, hey, what is my ROI, whatever that I'm purchasing physically against what I do for a cloud commitment. So keep a conversation very straightforward, ask for all the gaps, and then look at the bright side of things. And 9 out of 10 companies are now going on cloud only because of the data that they want to see quickly on the fly. And many traditional companies are just sitting where they are. How relevant you become in the future is something that you can gauge yourself. But the idea was these things come at a price eventually. Yeah. So all of these things will probably add up to a roadmap of a company or organization who is foresighted. I believe I have another 15 minutes to go. Yeah. So I'll try to quickly wrap this up. So within the ERP SAP, AI kind of a platform, the one I played earlier, can be integrated. Cloud solutions can be integrated. Robotic can be integrated, and analytics or real time. So what does it all look like, right? Let me play something here, a system, which is this. Let me, Dilip, if you can see this here.
Yeah, yes, we can see. Yeah.
Right. So those folks who are hardcore ERP users or SAP users, I'm sure you're familiar with this gray screen or blue screen. What happens here is you're using this probably as a desktop, and then a ton of people are going in and doing what they need to do. But once you leave, it's not available. Now, for those who wish to upgrade, migrate, or technologically transform, a better user interface, a better platform is available based on these things over here. So fairly interactive. Now, this is a live system. This is our internal product server. And what you see is a very nice visual, like a counters with blocks, sort of aligning all the modules that are available here. So when ERP gets fairly visually attractive, operations becomes simplified, analytics becomes easy, and transformation to this is not much of a effort, to be honest, to get from the old to the new. Now, all of it is not expensive. All of it is fairly available on the cloud, and all of these things can be managed based on operations, and they can be customized. So in a typical scenario, you might want to see your purchase cycle. I want to see how many purchase requests I have, how many purchase orders I have. I will probably go click this button. I get an interactive view. Now, imagine this interactive view. You were never able to scramble on a traditional UI. Now, what we need to remember here is it's all about navigation. Yes, you can get these documentation, you can get whatever, but then once you have a proper visual on things, your experience will be a lot better, a lot simpler, and it's nice to do things, end of the day. Now, if I could probably drill in further, I'm able to get an analytics screen out of it. I can get a statistical data out of it. I could do an interactive function out of it, whichever way that I want. So if I were to go check what is this transaction about, I'm able to go click, and then I'm now able to see each of the details of the purchase order, whatever. I could click on a vendor detail. I could click on a detail on anything that is necessary for me to visualize. Here there's some vendor information, there's some line items, there's some series. I'm able to copy the document or the next step, I would say, and then I'm able to cancel, close, duplicate, or check even the so-called relationship map and so on. Now these things are nothing new. It's just basically pumped into the an interface which looks a little friendlier. And then the customer card or a business partner or vendor card can be seen on click of a button. Now each of these will make life easy when we see generic information being made available, accounting balances, receipt, orders, and all the data that you want to sort of visualize on the fly. Do I need to be at the office to do this? Not necessary, right? So this is a cloud server whereby we are able to visualize all of this. And then these are on obviously some higher platform, unlike what you carry. And it all takes an integration of probably an upgrade per se. So these are the things that you could probably think of doing with the current ERP stack. Something again visually pleasing is these views. A lot many times bosses are always after report, right? And then you may have encountered that when you go about asking for a report, there's an additional charge or some sort. Now that days like that are gone, whereby you are able to self manipulate and then write your own script, export the data, as well as pivot in your Excel or whatever that you traditionally do. So these KPIs can be some sort of a dashboard experience where I would say we are fairly able to show as well as train people. One moment. Let me just stop this for a bit. Yeah, back here. So in some sense, we are able to manipulate it or self-manipulate when it comes to KPI. So one such dashboard here is showing me all the invoices with values, some showing me statistical, some showing me block informations, some showing me purchase data, sales data, and there'll be some statistics at the end of the day. But then guess what? I want to manipulate it. I'm able to go edit it the way I would like. So I want this particular data to become a pie chart, for example. I'm able to go manipulate, write the X and Y on my own, and then change the values whichever way that I wish. So earlier it was a histogram. Now I would like it to become a pie chart. So I'm able to do this kind of a manipulation, add data, render it in terms of interfacing, as well as try and do some basic math within this particular order. So when we have this type of ability, then manipulation, reporting, as well as scripting becomes a lot easier. Again, I'm not going to get into too much of details of how this can be done. What I need you to know is you're able to carry all these kind of documentation on your own. Again, these interactions are fairly possible using products which are of a higher versions, and then you're able to manage it at a certain degree and so on. Yeah. Now, I will leave certain questions open later. If you want to come back and check on this, I'm able to discuss it either on a personal level or a separated pre-sale for those who are keen to discuss a bit more on these kind of platforms. Yeah. So let me just go back into the final few slides that I have there. Now, to get here, what do we do? There's, of course, a roadmap. Just as much as you love your phone and you want to change it, the same goes to this product. If there's something that you want to be able to do, you got to be able to work a plan out to upgrade or migrate such a technology. So you assuming that you already have a traditional product, it of a certain version. So that version will be looking like maybe this. currently. Again, this is only relevant to SAP, but if you have any other systems, we open to talk. So these technologies where implementers leave behind a certain version which are generation old, and they just forget you. They don't come back and offer you anything that is flying high at this moment. Yeah, a propeller plane is left behind and without maintenance. So we are able to carry such upgrades, transformations, bring technology as well as platform knowledge to you. And within the SAP, the so-called roadmap, which will help us jump a few things or levels, so to speak, right? Now, what is the roadmap like exactly? So for a ton of time that we've been doing consulting in any other ERP per se, I've been seeing ACP being the most stable of them all, has gotten way cheaper down the platform, has a nicer integration capability in comparison to anything that is cloud-based, which is NetSuite, Acumatica, or even Navision recently, or Microsoft Dynamics. SAP has been a lot more stable in terms of integrating data and API management and so on. So customers of SAP hardly leave, not just because it's expensive in the past, but now it's made simpler, but the ease of use is there, right? Now, there, every product which comes with a certain roadmap. So the roadmap is all about until when somebody can last, right? The life, end of life and stuff. So many products in the market die out just like that. Today it's there, tomorrow it's not there, like your Microsoft. I don't know if you remember Internet Explorer or Windows 11, even Microsoft products out of play. It's only because hardware of today's caliber or technology of today's caliber do not permit for an older technology stack to exist. But then the transition, having to pay for it every 3 years, having to learn every few years, these things are very painful for a running operation, whereby we make it smoother, we make it a lot simpler, we work around certain technology, and the transition is hardly visible. So there are these things that we are fairly capable of doing in terms of cloud technology, web as well as mobile apps, and we are basically a certified implementer by SAP as well. Right. These are some of the screens that I already went through earlier. These are the things that you might want to sort of remember to tell yourself that there are technologies available next to you, which is just waiting to be adopted. It can be extended to any third-party workflow systems, major one of which is the next one. And then within the ERP, there will be some build capability when it comes to mobile interaction, portal interaction, as well as a bit of an AI element is what is the subject for today of mine. So if not, what we are involved currently in the market is all about uh, a partner that you probably could trust in terms of your digital transformation. We have alliances with industry experts, like we work with Alibaba, we also work with Azure. We leverage on a lot of platform technologies to just keep the environment secure for our customers. And not only that, but to bring them bigger deal when it comes to transitioning there and at a much friendlier price in comparison to any of our competitors in the market. So we've been a library of things, and it's just that for us to be getting knowing together, I think it just takes a talk end of the day and then to understand. So such discussion will be of a value add, because the least you can take back from us is a bit of a knowledge base, and you can sleep on it, until such time you have the capability of implementing. But understanding technology, seeing where it goes, is important. Now, our sort of commitment to you is to offer you the know-how, a bit of a service excellence, as well as the experience that you would like to uh, carry with us. And having run for the longest time that we are in the market, customers with us have been fairly good to us, and then they have been fairly adapted as well in whatever that we do on a daily basis. Now, this brings me to the last slide, hopefully just nice. So where are we really? Other than us being in Singapore and Malaysia, we have a back office in Philippines. We have customers Fairly spread across. It's the region that we're looking at. We have some over in North America, Canada, and all that. We have a few bunch of customers around the Eastern European and the West European region as well, the left and the right. Uh, Middle East is going through some kind of turbulence right now, so I don't know. But there's a lot of business that we run here in the future. Also, we're looking to carry some of our branding. Asia Pac naturally because we are here, and then we are looking into anything within the radar of things, yeah, wherever you are from. So Malaysia being the largest uh, customer base as well as home for us, in short. So we have been fairly Malaysian in that sense to help out customers locally. And then we're trying to bring our expertise over into other region where we can be standing competition in comparison to other vendors in the market. So what you get from us end of the day is a very interactive and a very side to insightful conversation where we are fairly dedicated to give you a pure knowledge base where you can sort of go back and consider options that you could be embarking on. Above all, you get a partner who can be always listening and working with you for anything that you encounter on a day-to-day operational level. Now, I end my conversation. Appreciate you guys listening in. If there are any questions, I'm willing to take before I hand it over to Mr. Ball. Dilip.
Thank you, Praveen. So but there seems to be no questions. But maybe the factor remains where bits and pieces of digital adoption transformation is happening in each of the companies. Um, AI adoption seems to be more popular on certain business processes, but an adoption into an ERP, I think it looks like it's still very much at the infancy, whereby some of the customers on SAP has not even upgraded to the next version or have not even moved to cloud operations. I think maybe I put a question to you, Praveen, in this case. What do you think is the next step if they would like to look into transforming their operations? They might be using SAP, they might be using some old systems which they are very happy to use. Some of them, some of our past interactions has been on Navision to 2018 or 2008. Has been quite an old systems, but they are happy with keeping it as such, but adopting certain functions, tools on automation. They like to still take on it. What is the next steps they should take on? Maybe more to how they can start the engagement internally and maybe externally. What they need to require to look into first aspects.
So that all depends on which industry they come from. See, in the recent times, we've been interacting with customers who have different type of operational challenge, but the biggest thing that they do not know is to invest a bit of time to think what can be improved around them because they're busy. They're just doing it as a daily basis, whatever runs, and they're not really looking to, I wouldn't say not looking to improve, but there are less of time or energy to do what they need to do to fix things or even shorten the kind of work that they need to do. And a lot, many times, it would take an organization to internalize and then put all the baskets which are full and then find ways to empty all that and then organize things. So this is the very painful something to bring people together and start interacting. What happens is if one person who is ahead of a company here or some operation heads among all of you may have to go back and realize what are the things that we are attempting to carry for a baggage or a sandbag, you will, I'm sure, spot a couple of things which needs improvisation. Then comes, how do I talk about it? Who do I discuss this with? What can really improve our operations is where us step in. In a lot many times, customers want to do something but don't know where to begin. This is the challenge. Things are scattered. I don't know what to start, but I need this end result, and my time is being wasted day to day by doing something that is unproductive. Always start with a conversation, always have a third party to discuss your plan. And then again, it all depends on who is vouching for this, a management or a group or a department who's really leaning towards improvising things. So the drive must be there. So once that happens, then the next set of blockages will be, wow, is it expensive? Is it going to take so much of time? Do I really need to think about it? Is there isn't a budget for it? You know, if that's the mindset, you probably not even do anything, moving forward. I would say cut the problem into half or make a segmented issues, improve one step at a time. So all these things can be discussed, can be like an installment plan, so to speak, and it can come at a very fair or if not a small cost. What I then compare is how much time and energy I'm wasting on doing this manually, which is equal to a dollar value or ringgit value, equals to improving something that can help us or a company over a long period of time, staying relevant. Yeah. So question yourselves, and also you can come and talk to us. Talking is free. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So I guess then we can move on to the next slot. I hope Mr. Bong is ready. I believe we are supposed to start Mr. Bong's agenda at 10:30, and we are on time. We will take us, Mr. Bong will take us through the AI and IoT power manufacturing solutions, focusing on how connected machines and intelligent systems are enabling smart factory. Now, I also would like to emphasize Mr. Bong has experience over 10, 20 years, yeah, Six Sigma, quality and process excellence, yeah. And there's bunch of experience that he comes with, which can be very, very useful for your transformation agenda on IoT aspect or AI aspect or automation aspect. Yeah. So without using too much of my time, I would like to hand it over to Mr. Bong to take us through. Thank you, Mr. Bong.
Yeah, thank you, Dilip. So good morning, everybody. Is everybody can hear me clearly? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
very clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I share my screen now. Everybody can see my screen?
Yep. Good.
Yes.
Very clear.
So okay, so we can kickstart now. Okay, so I'm Bong from Blue Ocean Data Solution. Thanks for giving me opportunity to share some of the AI and IoT solution. So what I'm going to do, right, I'll run through a few slides to give everybody some idea on how the thing works. And then later on, we can walk through the solution together. So along the way, if you got any question, then you just feel free to stop me. Is it okay? So we don't need to wait until the end of the session. So along the way, feel free to stop me. So it is okay. So the participation, right, of all the people or all the delegate will make the session become more interesting. Yep. So our case, right, we focus on industry 5.0 or even 4.0 smart manufacturing solution. So this is the agenda. So I'm going to have some basic introduction. Then we'll go through how some of the application of AI and IoT for quality control, production control, and so on. Then I'll share with you some of the success story. And I think most importantly will be how to kickstart. I think this is important, right, to most of the company. Okay, so just a quick one. So for our case, right, we've been around for more than 10 years. So we design our own solution to assist our customer in Southeast Asia, especially. So currently we having 3 offices, so 2 in Malaysia and 1 more in Thailand. So we make use of our experience in manufacturing to design the solution. Especially as what you can see now, we are talking about industry. So most of the time people talk about 4.0, but anyhow, 5.0 is coming. So that is something that we cannot stop it. So 4.0 focus on the integration between a machine and or it can be equipment or device to the system so that you can have better monitoring in terms of real-time monitoring especially. And 5.0 will be focused on how can we make use of AI technology and IoT technology together with the existing machine that you have to optimize the performance. Okay, so that is something emphasized by 5.0. But of course, there is another important thing will be sustainability. So which my partner will talk about on the ESG. Okay, so which is extremely crucial as well. Okay, so how this okay, this is just a basic comparison. So I think my colleague Dilip already mentioned about this. Okay, so I think I straight to the point here. So for the past 10 years, we have designed more than 50 solutions to assist our customers. So today, I will focus on this portion. So category number 4, application of AI and IoT technology for quality control, for production control, and also process control. Okay. Okay, so let us look at, before we go into detail, right, let us look at a bigger picture. So just now my partner, Praveen, talked about ERP. So ERP, Enterprise Resources Planning is on the top here. So that actually cover enterprise operation, which covers such as accounting, finance, purchasing, inventory, and so on, which is sitting on the top here. So for Blue Ocean Data Solution, we cover on those portions that normally not covered by ERP. Okay, the operation like quality control, process control, shop flow control, and so on. Okay, which is this portion. So this portion is a very big portion, and most of the time miss out actually. Yeah, and of course, what you can see here, the lowest level will be your machine and all the equipment, the device that you have. That is how we're going to link some of the equipment to our system by quality control, like machine, then you can have better control and so on. That is the whole idea. I'm not sure anyone got any question? Okay, so as what you can see from here, right, we design the solution in a modular basis. So in other words, it provide you a flexibility to choose where you want to start. So in a typical manufacturing company, right, I would say, I'm sure this is some of the activity that you are doing now. So it's just a matter of now the question is it's a matter of how can we automate this to digitize this so that it can help us to increase the productivity. So you can have a choice to pick where you want to start. Depends on your priority and so on. Don't worry about the sequence over here. So if we take a look at a bigger picture, right, this is our proven experience for the past 10 years for this solution implementation. So a typical manufacturing company, right, the operation can divide into 3 levels. Okay, as what you can see here, level 1, level 2, and level 3. So level 1 is an enterprise level, which is a ERP, which my colleague already mentioned. So we focus on level 2 and 3. Okay, level 2 is operation and also a production control. And then level 3 will be shop floor control, like for example, QA and QC process, OE monitoring, maintainer operation, quality inspection, and so on. So I basically today, right, due to time limitation, I'll focus on level 3. I'll pick some of this especially how to make use of AI technology for quality control, for process control, and also for those defect inspection and detection. Okay, that will be my main focus. Okay, so I think I have given you some introduction. Any question before we proceed further to more detailed explanation? Yep. Any question? Any? So if no question, then we'll proceed. Okay, subsequently, right, let's talk about this IoT here. IoT refer to Internet of Things, which, if I make it simple, it can be your device or the sensor from the machine or the equipment and so on. Okay, so I think AI, everybody know about this. So I mean to make this work, right, to make the system work according to the information that collected from your operation or the data collected from your operation. So that is where these two need to combine together. So if you're having, you want to do analysis, you must have data. So in order to have data, then you must have IoT. And that is the reason subsequently, these two need to combine together to optimize the performance. Okay, so these two combine together become AIoT here. Yeah. So the typical application, right, of these two AIoT combined together in typical manufacturing environment, it can be used for quality control, quality inspection, detection, prediction even, means it can tell you when the quality problem going to happen. So same concept here can be applied for maintenance as well. Meaning we can predict when your machine will break down, then so that you can stand by with all the arrangement or the spare part and so on. And many more can be done actually. All this is depend on creativity. Yeah? Yep. So if I look at the bigger picture, right? I mean, if I make it simple, that is how the thing works, meaning collecting data from various devices, from your machine or from your measuring equipment. Okay. So then this data you will process in the server. So the server not necessarily must be cloud server. It can be your internet server as well. Then from there you can do processing. Then is can convert become a meaningful analysis, meaningful dashboard, and then that is how eventually you can make the right decision, or even AI help you to make decision. That will be the another stage. Yep. Or based on the data, then it trigger you alert for the prevention or correction. So basically, the entire system is built based on this architecture. Yep. So I would like to focus on specific example of the application of this AI for defect detection and prevention in manufacturing. Yeah. So traditionally, this portion is labor intensive, meaning all the inspection is done by inspector, which is very time consuming. Okay, so subsequently, what we can do will be these are the stages involved to train the AI model so that it can recognize the defect that you have. So it consists of many steps over here. So meaning before it can do inspection for you, you need to train the AI model such a way that to recognize, you can see here, you need to provide sufficient picture to train so that to recognize what kind of defect you have. Okay. Then with sufficient picture, then we can do a training. Then if the training is satisfactory, then you can focus on deployment. So if the training is not up to the standard, so normally we're talking about at least 90% or 95% or above. So if less than that, meaning it needs some more training. So it's just like a children, you learn something, then there is an exam. Okay. So that if the exam is not satisfactory, then meaning it's not up to the standard yet. So it's the same thing apply over here. Okay. So how to do training? That is something sometimes can be quite tedious. But what we're trying to do now is we try to simplify the whole process. So we try to have a system whereby you can train yourself. Meaning we provide you the system, then you just upload a picture, just making simple. As what you can see here. So this is how we do training. So we provide many picture, and so that you can recognize the color of your product, and you can see there is a black dot over here. This is kind of defect. Okay, so there are so many different picture over here. So this is how we do preparation. So in the actual practical environment, certain product can be very tiny. This is another way that we do training. So you can see this product is a metal product. It's a silver color. Okay, meaning it's shining. So it is very hard actually. So you can see here, customer expectation is how can we recognize, identify the defect. So currently they make use of inspector to go and check one by one, which is very time consuming. So this is how we prepare all to teach the model to recognize. You can see the defect over here, the scratches, there is some very obvious defect on the surface itself. Okay, so once we have done all the training, then this is where you can see you can start to perform the job. Then whereby you can see it can tell you whether pass or fail. Then it failed due to what reason? So you can see it being highlighted for you. Those are in red color. So you can see as what you can see from here. So it very much depends on how we train to recognize what kind of defect. So this is some more example. Okay. So some of my customer over here, they produce this power supply product. And over here, there is some missing screw condition, as well you can see here. So over here is supposed to have all the screw being attached here, and somehow you can see there are 3 missing screw over here. So that is where you can teach you, you can recognize for you. So at the same time, we can have sometimes the product having a label, okay, as what you can see here. So the label, sometimes the label is not clear. You can see there's a problem here. So that's why you can see there's an indication of NG, or it can have a cosmetic problem like scratches and so on. That's what you can see here. I mean, I just try to show you some example after the training, how it can perform the job for you. So it can do many more actually. So this is another example. So to show you the scratches, as what you can see here, or missing component and so on. Yeah. And nowadays the expectation is very high expectation. So most of the time is we do inspection just to tell you appearance defect, pass or fail. I think it's not sufficient. Some of the customer expect to have some kind of measurement as well at the same time. So this is one of the example. Okay. So this one is in a 3D manner and so on. Yeah. So basically the application here is again depends on your creativity. Okay, depend on you are from which industry, your pain point and so on. Yeah. Too bad. So today we just having an online webinar. So if we having a physical seminar, then you guys can actually participate. Participate meaning I can have a camera in place. Then you guys can experience yourself how the thing work and so on, which you can see physically how the because over here involve many hardware and so on to make the thing work. So while doing inspection, right, then provide you all the result. It's not sufficient because at the same time, this model it will collect data as well. Then eventually it can tell you what happening. So what's the passing rate or what kind of yield you are talking about? Then it can give you a Pareto chart, which defect is the highest, the second highest, and so on. So meaning while doing inspection, then at the same time, it will collect data, analyze the data quietly at the back. Then it will provide you all the information. So the quality engineer, you just sitting in the office, then you know exactly what happening. So something abnormal, then you can take immediate action. That is a whole idea. Is a good example whereby we replace human inspector by using AI model plus a camera vision system to do the job. Okay, so I think I have explained the application. Any question? I just give one example. Of course, it can be many more actually. Yep. Any question from the floor? Then before I proceed further. Yep.
Any questions? Please feel free to put it in the chat box.
Yeah.
I believe we can also throw in some questions later, Mr. Bong. I'm thinking of something we can ask the audience later. Yeah.
Yeah. So in case anyone got any question, I'm okay as well.
You can continue, Mr.
Okay, so far I show the example for defect detection and also analysis. So another portion I want to talk about will be how to use the AIoT technology for QA and QC process automation. Yeah. So of course depends on the industry. So I think in the group there are many people from different kind of industry. So you can have a QC process, okay, QA process. You do some kind of quality control, some kind of measurement, inspection, and so on. So most of the time, so after the measurement, people will fill out a form or key in manually in Excel and so on. And this is what happening actually. Meaning, depend on your industry. Some industry having a drawing, some industry you don't have drawing, then you're having a spec and so on. Then you go and do a measurement. Okay, so after the measurement or inspection, then you're going to have all kind of report, QC report, and so on. So this process, right, is very time consuming. Okay, and there is a high chance of error as well. So the whole idea here is we want to do automation, okay, to digitize this the entire process. But to digitize this is very challenging actually. So because the whole industry been around for a long time, they have their standard practices and so on. Okay, so in order to have automation, meaning we need to have standardization. Yeah. So to overcome this, then we having a solution for you. So we having two solutions. One is a basic and one more is an advanced solution. So the basic solution basically is to consist of three steps over here. So step one is creation of the inspection plan. It can come from your drawing or it can come from the specification given by your customer. Okay, so depends on what kind of industry you are in. Then step two, it can be integrate with your equipment that you have or the machine that you have to collect the data. Okay, so that we don't want to have a manual data entry. Then eventually you get a report. Yeah. Then the most common question will be how to link with the equipment. Okay, so of course link with the equipment provided your equipment having some digital output. So if without this, then temporary you're going to use manual data entry until one day you change to the latest equipment. Yeah. So this is more on the IoT portion. Okay. And And this one is a more advanced application. Actually, it's the same system, but just over here, there is a more output, whereby when you collect the data, then you can have SPC monitoring. Then if there is an out of spec or violation, it will trigger you for action. Then you can have analysis or dashboard. Then it can tell you the machine performance. Okay, in terms of quality, if you see red color, meaning the machine performance is need some rectification because the quality, because the inspection result was out. That is how you can have immediate action. Yeah. So traditionally, regardless of industry, I think every kind of industry, there is some kind of QA, QC activity. And this process, most of the time, is very tedious, actually. A lot of time consumer, very human intensive work. And the equipment that we can integrate is very much depends on you are from which industry. So this is another type of equipment. Yeah. And recently, for the past of 1 year, we have developed the AI automated this sampling plan switching rule. So meaning some industry, there is a practice of to tighten the control or to loosen the control and so on. So I mean, if the AI detected there are three consecutive lot in good condition, I mean it pass the result, then you can loosen the inspection. Okay, depends on the criteria that you define over here. Because which it makes sense, because if my production or process is so stable, then why you want to waste so much time to do so much of inspection? So it can depend on the situation to adjust the sampling rule. Okay, so traditionally, this is done manually, actually. I mean, you go manually to go and monitor, and then someone give instruction, hey, now is the time to tighten, to loosen, and so on. Which is in the actual case is very, very hard to implement, actually. So by having automation, there is a different story. So just to give you some example, I mean, in the actual practice, how the thing works. So this is some of the example whereby we link to the equipment, then you can see here the data go to the system. Then if the data within the spec, then it change to green color, our spec it change to red color, yellow color will be on high side or low side and so on. So you can see all this equipment is a very advanced equipment actually, but somehow those advanced equipment it work is a standalone. Okay, it means it collect data piece by piece, which is not sufficient. So we want to have integrated solution. That is how it can tell you the entire plant quality performance end of the day. So that is the whole idea. So this is another example actually. So you can see this one in a very big semiconductor company. This one is a German company actually. So in the production floor is a clean room environment. So then all the manager, quality engineer is sitting in the office. So hardly for them to know what's happening. So if this is where it linked to our system over here, it collect in real time, collect data in real time. And then it can tell the entire production floor environment, this quality performance, yield performance, and so on. Okay. So very often, so when I talk about um, uh, um, integration, right? People will think of, oh, okay, then my equipment must be very advanced equipment. Actually, not necessary. So you can see this one is old school inspection equipment, actually. So you can see here, this is a very old equipment. And somehow it's lucky that this equipment, there is some digital output at the back there. That is how we do integration. So you can see, you do measurement that our system is here, you collect real-time data. So by having this, then there is no more hard copy writing and so on. Yep. So I hope I've given you some idea how the application of IoT can automate your QA/QC process. But of course, when we collect sufficient data, then there is where AI analysis can come in, which I'm going to share with you later on. So up to here for QA QC automation. Any question?
Is there any questions from the floor? Or maybe we can ask a question, Mr. Bong. Maybe is anybody already doing AI QC automation or looking into AI QC automation? Feel free to can anybody answer that? Are you looking into AI QC automation at the moment? Or is already anybody doing this?
Okay, so maybe from here, I want to pick out one real application. So for those industry having a drawing, so maybe I want to share with you the application of AI technology over here. So anyway, this system I having a latest version, which is a web-based system. So this is one example. So I means if you're having a drawing, we want to capture the dimension from the drawing. Okay, so normally they will go and do labeling one by one, then maybe key in the Excel and so on. So over here, what I'm going to do, right? I will activate the AI engine over here to go and read and recognize those dimension in the drawing. And then we want to do extraction. So as what you can see now, it try to recognize whatever you have in the drawing. So you can see over here, total we having a 28 dimension. And it tried those in a red color box now, meaning it trying to recognize. Okay, then later on you will see a table will be formed with all the extracted data. So that's why you can see now. Okay, so you can see it has done all the labeling for you. So this AI being trained to recognize the symbol over here. You can see there is something very challenging actually. There is a symbol or diameter symbol. There is a true position symbol and so on. So from here you can see, right, it being tabulated for you. Okay, from the drawing, so it recognized for you this is a diameter, and then this is true position, and then what's the spec, what's the upper and lower tolerance, and so on. It has done the calculation for you. Okay, traditionally, this is done manually, yeah. So maybe we can do some kind of checking here. So I mean, if the drawing is not clear enough, right, then you can do some modification because it depends on the quality of the drawing. So you can see whenever I click here, number one, it highlighted in yellow color. Okay, then you can see here, this is diameter. And the other one is a true position. Okay, this is true position. Then it has done calculation for you as well. And so on. Okay. So this is how you can save a lot of time. So let's say this number three here is the dimension that I don't want to measure. So I can remove it actually. So after I remove it, then it will ask me whether you want to rearrange the numbering or not. So if I say yes, then it will rearrange for me. You can see just now over three was here, now three come to here and so on. So basically, this is step one of the entire quality control process actually. Okay. So once you have this one, then we can proceed with the measurement. Of course, we can define what kind of equipment to be used over here later on, like CMM, the caliper, and so on. Okay, so I have demonstrate to you one of the application of the AI to recognize from your drawing to extract and to form the inspection plan. This is the step one. Okay. So which is this one. Then once this is done, then we will connect to the equipment. Then there is where you can collect the data. So after collecting data, due to time constraint, I cannot go into too detail. Then you can have all the analysis actually. Yeah. So I can proceed with the analysis. Okay, like what you can see now. Okay, so imagine I have done the measurement and so on. Yeah. 1 minute. So I need to uh, so I put this system in cloud. So this is where I try to demonstrate to you the application of cloud technology and also big data. So is it in cloud meaning you can access anywhere? Okay, like what you can see now. So meaning this is one of the good example. Meaning after we have done the data collection. So this is all the inspection result. Okay, so traditionally people will do filing. So over here there is no more filing. Then my one click here is equivalent to your one inspection plan, or inspection sheet. Yeah. So over here you can tell you exactly the date, the time. They can tell you the AC here means it's accepted, green color. Yeah. And you can trace when actually you have done it, from which part number, which machine, and so on. Yeah, you can trace it actually. And as well, you can see here, system make decision, pass or fail. You can see NC here, meaning one of the, at least one of the reading is out of spec. Yeah. And I purposely designed such a way that for NC, there is a non-conformal report because normally if the lot having a problem, right? So auditor or even your customer will expect you to have some kind of disposition. So that is traditionally, this is you fill out a form, for example, or hard copy form or in Excel and so on. So I purposely designed over here, you can see this lot, you fill this parameter. Then over here, straight away, you can have action. What's the root cause? What's the corrective action? And then how you want to dispose the lot. Maybe you want to rework, you want to do re-inspection and so on. So everything I make it online, then it come to audit, right? Then it will become much more easier, okay, much more faster. And this is one of the example in terms of traceability, in terms of data integrity control. And most importantly, when something wrong, right, you can trace back actually. Trace back in the sense that you can see here, you can trace this lot you are using which equipment to measure, when actually you measure, done by which inspector and so on. So there is a full traceability. So this will end up your entire, I mean, if you want to find the root cause, then become much faster. Yep. So then from here, you can trace all the status of the non-conformant report. Means is this is real time actually. Means you can see what happening. So if you see red color here, meanings the law having a problem, but no action taken. So this is very useful to management. So it means straight away I know what happening now, whether action be taken or not, and so on. So this is one application. So of course, you can, I mean, is to know your process performance, whether I need to take some additional action. It can be corrective or preventive action. So as what you can see now, yeah. So this is one of the example of the monitoring for product. Okay. So this is whenever I click here is one of the example of a monitoring. So this product you can see it has some problem on the high side. It's out of control here. Then it will trigger alert to you. Yeah. And this one on the high side, this one at the low side, that's what you can see now. So from here, you can have a distribution analysis. So that's why you can see now, this is a problem. So so much of variation compared to the spec, then of course you're going to have reject later on. Yeah. So this is a real-time information. That is where your people can take action in advance before the serious problem happen. Yeah. And you can see another one. This is on the high side. Okay, so this is a problem as well. So traditionally, right, people don't have this kind of complete picture of what's happening. So that is a problem. So once you have this, right, then I know before the thing getting worse, then I will do something. So meaning I'll adjust the process back to the center and so on. So remember, this is real time and no manual plotting over here. And you can see you can do a more detailed analysis in terms of variation analysis, for example, here. So if I take three sample, it can analyze for you what is the highest value, the lowest value in the middle, and so on. So if the better process control here will be less variation is better. Okay, like this one, this is better. Okay, this is better. This is no good actually. And if you look at a bigger picture here, you can see my process now is slowly going up actually. So it tells something, yeah. So before it getting worse, this is where prevention will coming in, yeah. That's what you can see from here, okay. Then from here, you can trigger alert to use. It can through the phone, it can through the system and so on. That's what you can see now, okay. So in our spec, that you can see our spec. And you can see the chart as well. So you can see this is a problem. You trigger alert to the engineer, then that is where they go and take action, do investigation. Then there is some root cause here. Okay, only you can define yourself. And then what's the action and so on. Yeah. So you can see everything become online, digitized, then it's much easier to manage actually. So end of the day, right, our management having a complete picture on what happening. Yeah, yeah. So you can see you can have analysis, the U analysis. Okay, so every day you inspect how many pass, how many fail, and so on. And you having a flexibility to look at the performance based on certain month, and you can drill down. Okay, let's say I want to know what happening this day. I click here, then these are the lot you have inspected or the unit you have inspected. Then you can see the if I want to investigate further this lot, what happening if fail. Okay, you can see it fail which parameter and so on. Okay, yep. So there are many more analysis over here, like Pareto chart, many more. Then from here, you can trigger continuous improvement. Yeah, so mean you can have some immediate Kaizen process, like what you can see now. Okay, you can form a team, define a deadline, and so on. So this will form a closed loop monitoring, improvement, and so on. So this eventually is going to help you actually for sure. Okay, so I have give you some brief introduction of the application of the IoT technology for the application of QA and QC process. Yeah. So actually, the same thing can be used for process control as well. Yep. Uh, anything? Any question from the floor? Yeah.
Any questions from the floor, from the audience? Do you have any questions on QC AI automation or the manual way of QC operations here that Mr. Bong is highlighting? If you are looking into implementing one, what is the challenge that you are having? Maybe you could also specify, and we can also try to answer that. While we see on that, Mr. Bong, what do you see the issue being, from moving from a manual QC process into automation and into the full automation? What is the challenge that normally the clients that you have met before, prospects that you have met before, are having, uh, maybe as an experience from you?
Yeah, the key challenge will be, I would say there are two key challenges actually. One is resistant to change. Okay, means it's very often customer used to the way of old way of doing things. They are very comfortable. Then suddenly introduce a new technology, meaning they gonna learn all over again. Okay, so that is one of the challenge. So we need a commitment to change to drive from the top. And the other one is a standardization of the practices. Standardization meaning, I mean, the old way of quality control. I mean, they can do switching anytime. Means is you depends on the situation. So certain dimension, they will. I mean, depends on the availability of the equipment. So this dimension can use caliper. This dimension can use another equipment and so on. Okay, they can do whatever they like to do. Okay, so but automation, we need to have standardization. So we need to create a standard for our people to follow. This is where the mindset we need to change. These are the things that normally happen.
Right, right. We do see that being some of the conversations that we have, we do see certain aspects where they are pretty much in the comfort zone. Yeah, most of the time it's the comfort zone that allows them to practice trial and error, go by implementing and then making a change. But having a little bit more control over QC, I see a lot of them came back and have asked us to propose something on the level of making QC operations efficient. But I think something is like probably stopping them. Maybe it's the budget, or maybe is the operational direction, maybe. But is there something that out there they can always utilize certain aspects from the authorities, grants, or something that the policymakers are making it look more attractive for
Yeah,
operation?
yeah,
Yeah,
right. So nowadays, right, with the advancement of technology, so the entire system become much more affordable actually. So I mean, if customer they don't want to have I mean, a big investment, then they can go for subscription model as well. So it means it's a pay small amount of money, then achieve the purpose. And of
right,
course, nowadays there is some grant for application as well, which later on we can share with the delegate actually. Yeah. So
right,
there are many source for assistance. Yeah.
right.
Okay, so maybe another one is a quick one. So we can use the same platform for machine and process monitoring as well. Meaning this platform, it can link to your machine to collect real-time machine data, internal machine uptime, the downtime, the output, and so on. Then it's the same thing. We can have prediction, we can have analysis, and so on. That's what you can see from here. Yeah. So it's the same thing. You can connect to your machine as well. Again, depend on what kind of industry. Yeah? So this is one kind of industry. This is those metal fabrication, plastic fabrication, and this one is an example of PCB industry. But the concept here is the same. Yeah. And this is another example whereby you can see this one is a very big laser cutting machine. It linked to the machine so that it collect the real-time information. So just maybe a quick sharing. So the same information can be used, right? Or same platform, sorry, can be used for process monitoring. So you can see this one is a process monitoring. Okay, so this one is one example, the application. You can see the box here, meaning is all the equipment. So according to different production area, yeah. So if the box here represent one machine, then this is a project that one example that we done for the customer in China. So if the machine is doing well, mean it change to green color. Not doing well, it change to red color and so on.
Right.
So I click here, then you can see the condition of the machine in terms of parameter. Then you can see another parameter not so good and so on. Yeah. And it's the same thing. Then you can do the correlation. Then you can trigger some alert and so on. Similar to the concept that I mentioned just now. Yep. And then from here, you can trigger action. So you can see this is a different application compared to the previous one. Okay, so I have share with the team. Maybe just give me another 5 minutes. So
Sure, sure.
I run through some of the use case, then we can end somewhere. Yeah. So I mean, based on the solution I share with you, we have done a couple of projects for different industry, different customer. So this is one of the project we have done. MSM is a sugar manufacturing company in Malaysia. They supply, I would say, more than 50% of the sugar in Malaysia. So they're having a two plant. One is Johor, one more in Pride. Our project cover IoT, meaning is monitoring of the whole plant condition, the QC lab automation, and plus OE monitoring for the sugar packing line. So it's a very complicated process because before that, hardly for the management to know what happening because the plant is so big. And most of the time, the management come to know is everything already happened. Yeah. So another customer is a Honeywell. They are making this aerospace precision component. We started off in Singapore. Then now we slowly moved to another plant. So they got many plants in Southeast Asia actually. So again, we help them to automate the entire QA/QC process, which I mentioned to you just now. So previously it was everything is a hard copy, hardly for them to know what's happening. So this is a US company. It's a oil and gas valves manufacturing company. We got many factories in Southeast Asia. We started in Malaysia, then we implement for all the factory in the whole Asia, Southeast Asia. We spent about almost 3 years to complete everything. Now we in the second phase of implementation for the fully integrated, means they want to link all the plant together. Then they can sharing of QA/QC information. So another one, this one is located in Thailand. Same thing, they're having a QC lab. So traditionally, all the QC inspection was done manually. So they're having a hard time to have a report because all the report is done manually, very so tedious, so time consuming that hardly to know what happened. Yeah. This is eventually we have them to do automation. Now we expand to another plant in different countries. So to get started, right, this process, I mean, to go for digitization, so maybe share a little bit. To make the project become successful, there are many factors actually. So of course, we can bring the advanced system to our customer. But at the end of the day, there are many other factors will determine whether it is successful. So like the people competency, the commitment, the team, and so on. This will determine. So each of these components is extremely important. So if you lack of one component, then it can cause a problem. So how to get started is means is I mean of course many companies they don't want to take. I mean their thinking is maybe there is a risk that yeah, of course, there is a risk. So that is where our advice is always maybe we start from smaller scale. So you identify one pain point area, then you start from that. Then you see the result or see a problem along the way, and then you learn something. Then that is how everything okay. That is how you expand to other areas. So that is a better way actually. Yeah. So the risk will become lower, the investment also become lower, and this is more better method. Yeah. Okay, so I think good enough. I have done my part. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Dilip, I pass to you. Hello.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so sorry. I was on mute.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So thank you, Mr. Bong. I
Yeah.
think there is no question from the floor, but that's okay, because this seminar is, mainly to introduce three parts of this ERP and automation plus ESG, and at least the learning is quite good from here. For the takeaway purpose, the insights that is given, but more deeper conversations can happen at the back. Yeah, so I think they may always be able to reach out to us and ask certain questions related to what has been presented. Yeah, so thank you again, Mr. Bong. So I will now probably go back to Dr. Johnny here. So just to reiterate that, the third speaker here, Dr. Johnny, he is going to present on the road to ethical manufacturing, supply chain transparency, global ESG, which is very, very increasingly important as companies operate in global markets. Yeah, there's a lot of international standards that needs to be implemented, and he will be able to provide us. In fact, I'm also very eager to learn quite a bit on the ESG principles and how this can actually apply in the industries on our participants. And maybe also please ask questions related to what is being presented today by Dr. Johnny. Yeah, over to you, Dr. Johnny.
right. Thank you very much, Dilip, and also Bong for inviting me. You can hear me?
Yes, very clearly. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Good. Okay, basically, I would like to, there's a lot of, I mean, the system and the data brought by Praveen and also Bong. So we are touching on something, you can say that controversial in some sense. You can say that, oh, what's next? What are we going to do it? Or are we going to do it or we are not? Okay. So firstly, I just want to give myself a very short introduction. So basically, I have worked in Hong Kong, China for 20 years. I have worked for Walmart Global Sourcing. So we did a lot of supply chain compliance. So whereby we are currently providing similar service within our own company, right? So we have already set up Malaysia in 2019, and the group started off in 2003. So we have over 23 years in the supply chain compliance. So supply chain compliance, just to let you know, is actually when you deliver products overseas, especially like Europe, US, you need to comply on certain criteria to enter into the game. For example, quality. So like what Bong have mentioned, you need to have basic quality processes, quality system to be able to capture quality defects and process to ensure that the process is actually producing the right probably quality products. And the next one is the social compliance, whereby they want you to be environmental responsible, human rights, you take care of the employees very well, you take care of their overtime, you take care of their well-being, safety, and so forth. And I will touch much more later on with a video. And then we have the supply chain security. So supply chain security, whereby, you know, we have the war right now in Ukraine, we have Gaza, now we have Iran. So how to ensure products move securely, you know, in terms of anti-terrorism and so forth. So therefore, we have the supply chain security compliance. So we are pretty much on the compliance business. So if you can see my slide right now, the world is rapidly changing, right? The world is rapidly changing. We have child labor, yep, which is not so important in Malaysia right now because everybody is not hiring anybody less than 18. Even though the law said is 16, the child labor for Malaysia is below 15. And usually HR in Malaysia pretty get confused that they cannot hire anybody below 18, which is incorrect. Okay, bond of forced labor. Yeah, this is a critical issue in Malaysia today. So I'll share with you the video later on. Health and safety is also very important. We have our Dodge. They are seeing the accident rate spiking up already. Okay, why? There must be a lot of corrective and preventive action. I think systematically, we are not looking at the root cause. So whereby James Bond can also come back, you know, with some software to able to track the root cause. Environmental waste, you can see that our rivers, our Johor, our Sungai Kim Kim, because of one incident, about 100 over schools have to be closed down, right? Yeah, media. Media is positive or negative? Uh, there are positive side, you know, whereby they blow up the whole issue, everybody get aware of it, and everybody will keep focused and wanting to correct on it, right? Consumer are changing today, right? So the probably the old, the young, the Generation X, Generation Y, the millenniums, they are all having different buying behavior. Okay, like for in Malaysia, would you go for products that is in compliance with all the issue that I mentioned to you? Well, yes or no? Probably somebody can, maybe Dilip, you can probably represent the crowd over here. Would you buy products with is in compliance with all this, but you have to pay about 10%, 15%, or 20% higher than the normal price?
I think depending on this situation.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, from the survey that we have run through, the most green people is actually the Europeans. Europeans are willing to pay 20%, 15, or even 20, or even 25% for a fully compliance supply chain or products. Okay. The American may not settle for something that is above 10 to 15%. Americans, they are very cost sensitive. How about Malaysian? Malaysian is everything cheap, 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 right? We have a very small portion of people. That's why you can see Speed 99 doing very well, Mr. DIY doing very well, the Dua Ringgit shop, you know, doing all very well. We just cheap, okay? But without compliance, there could be forced labor, there could be people working under very unsafe situation. There will be people working extremely high overtime. There are people working with no annual leave. You know, it's very crazy. That means if we buy the product, what does it mean? That means we are promoting all this non-compliance. We are promoting, we are not protecting or correcting, but we are actually promoting. Okay. So as a consumer is very, very important, right? So we have people in Malaysia or people elsewhere saying that, oh, this is none of my business, it's the world, you know. Who is going to pay for my, you know, all this if I buy a higher price product? So these are the things that's coming on. Governments has commitment to ESG, as you know. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. For Malaysia, 2050 is the deadline committed to the United Nations. that we will be carbon neutrality. Carbon neutrality, I will touch on it later on the climate change. Stakeholders, who is your stakeholders? The people around you, people stay beside your factory, people, your suppliers, the people working for you, the family, members, they are all your stakeholders, okay? NGOs, yeah, NGOs, Malaysia, I mean, we have a lot of things to learn on NGOs in Malaysia, whereby our NGO is not as strong as NGO in Europe or even in Japan or US. Okay, right, next. Yeah. So I'm going to show you a video. Hopefully I can show you that. Yeah. You can see my screen, Andy Hall. Yeah. So we
Yes.
have a real case of issue case. Dyson, Atta, and ATA. Atta is a Malaysian listed company in Johor. Probably you guys know. They are supplying about 80% of their products to Dyson. Okay, so they have a court case in London. Okay, Dyson, probably all of you us know, especially the ladies. They have the best color, hair color in the world. All the ladies would like to buy Dyson color, if not the vacuum cleaners, right? So I'm going to play this video so that we can all have an understanding.
We can see it, but we can't hear it, Dr. John.
You can't hear it. Oh
Yeah.
my. So how?
Oh, I think it is to do with the sound, I guess. Yeah. Can try that. Yeah.
Not sure how I'm able.
Maybe delete based on the link. Can you maybe play in your PC
It's already played.
or you share the link?
Maybe you could share that link to Johnny. Then
Yeah.
put it in
Okay,
the
I
chat,
share.
in the chat group.
Chat. Okay. Okay, you got it?
Yes. 1 second. So we'll try to play this. So the video is on the link, yeah? Okay, 1 second.
You have to put to the Google for YouTube.
My screen is visible, yeah?
Yeah, can see. Can see.
So this is
Can
the
you-
first video, yeah?
you try.
Okay, so I should close mine.
Yeah,
An
now can
iconic
hear.
company
Can, yeah?
Yeah, can hear
that
very
makes
well.
billions of pounds in profits. Its supplier accused of exploiting migrant workers, paid as little as £9 a day, and a 2-year legal battle after reporting this.
दिनको 12 घण्टा र हप्ताको 7 दिन र महिनाको 30 दिन काम गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब एकदमै धेरै कामको प्रेसर हुन्छ अनि
ATA IMS is one of Southeast Asia's leading electronics companies. In February 2022, this programme revealed how a group of migrant workers employed by ATA in Malaysia to make Dyson products were taking legal action. Recruited from Nepal and Bangladesh, they alleged horrific working and living conditions.
Our clients allege that they work under conditions of forced labour, in unsanitary and crowded accommodation, and they lived under the constant threat of punishment and persecution.
That's what Dan Kumar Limbu says happened to him. When he complained to labour rights activists, the management hunted him down and handed him over to Malaysian police.
पिट्ने पनि पिट्न सुरु गरे उनीहरूले किताबहरूले यसरी बसेको ठाउँमा लात्ताले अनि उनीहरूले हिर्काउन थाले आइया भनेर दुखेर मैले कराउँदाखेरि चाहिँ मेरो घुँडामा फेरि अनि टेक्यो उसले घुँडामा टेकेर फेरि पाइपले पैतालामा हिर्कायो.
Dyson would tell us they didn't know about Mr Limbu's torture until months later. But Channel 4 News found evidence Dyson had been warned about conditions at ATA since 2019 and that it failed to address all the problems, even publicly denying them. Under mounting pressure, Dyson ordered an independent audit by Elevate. In September 2021, Elevate's report finally exposed the crisis. Before we broadcast, we put all the allegations to Dyson in this 16-page letter. The company denied there was a cover-up, saying it only learnt of the scale of ATA's problems when Elevate reported and that it wasn't complicit in what happened. Then Dyson said, if we ran the proposed story, we could be liable for billions of pounds in damages.
Well, I'm now joined by Michelle Shi.
Michelle Shi from Dyson's Singapore HQ told our viewers that Dyson had acted appropriately in all cases. ATA had denied all the allegations, but she accepted conditions at ATA were poor and didn't claim there were any factual mistakes in our report.
Well, the welfare of the workers are our uttermost important priority, and that is why we've been working with them, working on the actions, rather than just run away from the problem. We address the problems other people ignore.
Despite all this, after our programme was broadcast, lawyers for Dyson demanded Channel 4 take down the report and issue an apology. We refused. Other journalists who tried to follow up our story were threatened with legal action. And then Sir James Dyson himself and two other UK-based Dyson companies, Dyson Technology Limited and Dyson UK Limited, issued legal proceedings for defamation here at the High Court. It's gone on for more than 2 years and cost hundreds of thousands of pounds for both sides.
Here we are in a Dyson demo store where you can try out our technology.
The judge ruled Sir James hadn't been defamed in the report and threw his claim out. But the other two Dyson companies continued to pursue the action. In April this year, Channel 4 News filed its 186-page defence. One key inclusion, the findings of the thorough audit of ATA, the so-called Elevate report, which Dyson had refused to release.
Why not release the report? Where's the report?
Go.
Release the report.
Well, the report, we have the report, and Dyson works on the report.
Yeah. And we'd like to see it.
That is why we took the actions.
Okay, but we'd like to see the report.
But we did obtain a copy of the Elevate report. It said, there's evidence that nearly 4,000 people had worked illegally at ATA between December 2019 and May 2021. Some workers had been housed in undisclosed facilities and pay records were hidden or destroyed. 246 workers at Dyson sites were still owed recruitment fees. 1 in 5 workers worried about management retaliation, including deportation, pay cuts and physical attacks. And the report said ATA's management could have fixed all these problems, but Dyson failed to reach agreement with ATA on solving them following receipt of the report. Instead, they walked away, terminating the contract. As part of the case, Dyson was obliged to respond to our defence on Friday. That response never came. Instead, Dyson informed us it was discontinuing the case, but the legal threats haven't stopped. Dyson also said it'll try to injunct Channel 4 News if we publish new information that we've now obtained about Dyson's activities. In a statement, they told us, we strenuously deny the false claims made by Channel 4 News in its broadcast. It is ATA, an independent manufacturer, that must answer questions about its treatment of its workers in Malaysia. Dyson will never condone the mistreatment of workers anywhere in the world and defends its reputation when it's necessary. But campaigners say this case is similar to a string of others brought to stop reporters investigating the rich and powerful in the public interest.
Well, these legal tactics are used by anyone who seeks to block accountability. We've seen them used by Russian oligarchs, by corporations such as Dyson.
So they're effectively being used to censor journalists and activists and others?
These lawsuits represent a form of legal bullying, which are designed to force the target to retract their criticism. And they do that by using the litigation process to harass, intimidate, and drive up costs.
Dyson told us it's categorically wrong to describe this defamation action as a strategic lawsuit against public participation. This was a legitimate complaint against false claims made in a broadcast which harmed Dyson's reputation. Like anyone, Dyson is allowed to exercise its right and defend its reputation through the courts. Meanwhile, Dan Kumar Limbu and 22 other former migrant workers are still pursuing compensation from Dyson, which denies any liability. After more than 2 years of seeking justice, they may have a long road ahead.
Okay.
Right.
I think
Okay.
that was all.
Thank you. Thank you, Dilip, for showing that. Can we go back to our slide now? You see my
Yes, you
slide?
may.
Okay, right. So from the video,
we're not seeing Dr. Johnny. Yeah, you
Sorry?
might need to present again. Yeah.
okay, share, right? Can you see now?
Yes, works.
Okay, thank you. So you can see right now, these are big cases, and we also have Top Glove, as you probably know. They have to fork out 2 billion ringgit to solve this issue. We have also FGV, Felda, 920 million, and the case is still unresolved. So in total, I would see that Malaysia is actually stuck with about 5 to 6 billion ringgit stuck on all these issues and opportunity to do business externally, especially with US. Okay, right. RBA. So I would believe you have customers around the brands that you have seen over here, right? Probably you have, or probably your customers. So if you are one of them, that means the whole supply chain needs to be fulfilling to the requirement of RBA, Responsible Business Alliance. These are all for electronics industry. Yeah. Okay. The next is climate change. Yeah. So just now we talk about human rights, we talk about employees, we talk about foreign workers, dormitory, safety, forced labor. Now we turn to climate change, right? So due to our human activities, so our climate has big major disruption. Okay, we have a higher temperature degree and then the rising sea level. So this is why we have floods in Asia, places there's no flood, and then right now we have floods, and places there is not as hot, but now it's very, very hot. This is all due to climate changes. So because of all this, we need to do actions. Countries which I mentioned, Malaysia, 2050, and we have our customers, 2040, they have declared it as a zero emission, zero waste. And for the whole supply chain is 2038, because supply chain needs to be doing and complying before that, right? So zero emission, zero waste. Wow, how to do it? Zero waste, zero emission. Oh, many years to go, right? So let's relax, right? So not, it is not. Sorry? Sorry?
I think that was Mr. Bong. You could continue.
Okay, okay. Right. So these are all the commitment that we need to go for. So like for Apple, let's say, for example, you look at Apple, you go to Apple website today. By 2030, it's just about how many years? 4 years. All the supply chain of Apple, the suppliers supplying products to Apple, must be 100% renewable energy. Wow, what is renewable energy, right? So you were bengang already, right? So renewable energy is solar, biomass, biogas, uh, wind, right? Hydro, geothermal. Yeah, these are all renewable energy. Whereby if you have a roof having a solar, but you only consume the renewable energy of only 20%, right? Let's say you have 100% usage of the energy, but 20% you actually came from the solar. How about the 80%? You have to go to the market to buy the renewable energy certificate to fulfill the 100%. Therefore, you can be the suppliers of Apple. Okay, so this is how what things is going on right now, right? So because of all these world problems, the United Nations come out with 17 goals. The goals to address all the problems in the world. Yeah, United Nations of countries, about 195 countries, okay, has already signed on these 17 goals, right? So you can see no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water, affordable energy, decent workplace, industrial innovation, reduce inequalities, sustainability cities, responsible consumption, climate change, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and partnership for goals. So you can see all over here. So 17 goals as a manufacturer, like what I've been told, you have many of you are manufacturers over here. You need to select what are the areas that you can contribute in terms of ESG, okay? So the challenges right now is some may have already went into social compliance like what ATA, RBA, or WCA, or SIDEX Meta, and and BSCI and so forth. You are going to move into the ESG zone. So many suppliers in Malaysia, they are talking about, wow, the net margin is eroded. How can I do compliance? Yep. And how do I have the money? We need to go back to the government, get a grant. No grant, let's don't do it. These are the current situation right now in Malaysia. Right. So in-house expertise, oh, ESG, something new. Many people would be saying that, oh, ESG, there's no standards. Probably later on, I'll show you all the standards. Yeah. And it is wait and see attitude. Oh, these are all very common, with manufacturers and suppliers. If you are foreign manufacturers, well, maybe your corporate officers have already have some strategy, maybe fast, maybe slow. And most of the SME or local manufacturers, not public listed, even much more slower. If you are public listed, they have to move the needle. Yeah. So in-house expertise is always a concern. And reporting of scope 1, scope 2. Scope 1 is all the carbon emission generated from the internal processes. Scope 2 is something that you purchase, like your TNB bills and so forth. Scope 3 is the supply chain. Wow. Suppliers, SME, they will have a problem of gathering, especially for scope 3. Okay. So what is ESG and social compliance? In fact, social compliance is part and parcel or building blocks towards ESG or the 17 goals, if you can refer to the bottom right. Okay, you can see that in terms of environmental, the social compliance program like SIDEX, SMETA, WCA, RBA, RED, they are actually touching on this environmental, including social and also governance. Governance is something on ethical, yeah, anti-bribery, anti-corruption, fair competition, and so forth. And now we are seeing that retailers are going for, even at the component level, even at the direct, indirect services, and also indirect components. We have one customers in Johor. They are just sweeping the floor, doing cleanliness, cleaning toilets, production floors, and they need to do RBA. RBA is Responsible Business Alliance. Why? Because of Seagate, because of Venture Electronic and VS Industry. Therefore, they need to do RBA. Yeah. And in terms of energy, our partners, they have an energy platform, then talk about monitoring efficient energy based on carbon emission tracking and so forth. That's where carbon emission, CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. There are about batch one is in force right now, whereby this batch one, like cement, energy, steel, shipping to Europe, you need to have carbon taxation. That's the reason why Malaysian government is in the speed of setting up the carbon taxation mechanism. For example, if this pen, probably you can see my pen, right? If this pen is, you need to pay 10 euro on carbon taxation if you ship it to Europe. So if Malaysian government has a taxation, let's say we are taxing this at 5 euro, right? So you need to pay the balance of 5 in European CBAM, okay? So if there's no carbon taxation in Malaysia, you have to pay the 10 full euro in Europe. So therefore, it's better for Malaysia to quickly set up the carbon taxation system. So ISO 14064-1, this is almost like a carbon emission for your organization, just like ISO 9001. It's a quality management system for your organization. 14067 is a product carbon footprint. That means this product moving along all the processes, the carbon emission needs to be data collected. Okay. Zero waste to landfill. I'm actually flying to Suzhou this March 17 for a zero waste to landfill conference. So we're going to have conference on how to throw our waste to the landfill as little as possible. Currently, we are doing projects in Indonesia, whereby the customers wants to pilot this project in one of their suppliers globally. So they are picking on their supplier in Indonesia, Cirebon, about 3 to 4 hours from Jakarta. So maybe you will be probably trying to think about how can you have zero waste? Yeah. So maximum of waste going to the landfill is 15%. Once you have 15%, you will have a report of zero waste from the third party. But if you have 10%, of course, to the zero, you will have your certificate of zero waste to landfill. Okay, so meaning that we are not looking at zero, but we are looking at driving to zero. Okay, so to make everybody better to understand. Yeah. Circular economy. Okay, Malaysia just rolled out a blueprint last year on circular economy, meaning that how can we, the output of waste from process one can be an input for process 2 or product 2 as an input. Yeah, the output become the input. So that's how we are looking at it. So like, for example, if you look at the ocean-bound plastic, it's very unique certification, whereby you have plastics about 20 kilometers from the river. If you're able to certify the location, and then you pick the plastic, you wash it, you turn them into resin, and then later on to the products, you will get this certification, ocean-bound plastic. So the European countries, the European customers, they love this certification, okay? And Malaysia is pushing for this circular economy certification this year. So e-waste, this is for electronic waste. Yeah, we cannot simply throw your electronic waste. You know, when the factories or big giant factories, when they sell waste, they always sell it to the highest bidder, the waste collector that gives them the highest money, right? But in future, they have to look at whether they have this certification, SERI or R2, okay? Because these standards will look at environmental protection. When you process the waste, do you protect the environment? You know, our battery, the liquid, the electrolyte, the chemicals flowing to the drain, that is not environmental protected. The resource conservation, hazardous waste, you know, how do they dispose these waste? Do they do a disassembly to go to the furnace to burn it down, to melt it down so that they can create a new material input? Yeah. Data security, just like, you know, you have a disk, you have a computer drive and so forth. Does the data fully been secured? So this standard also look for that. Compliance, accountability, of course, circular economy, meaning that after doing the waste, do you give the environmental, you know, beside all these stakeholders, do you give them economic opportunities or not? Yeah, so that is also covered by these standards. Recycle claim standards is something like we have done for a factory in Banting. They are doing drinking mug, you know, just like a Starbucks, Yeti, and so forth. So they use stainless steel. So the stainless steel could be 30% recycled, could be 50% or 60%. So how does Starbucks and Yeti fully understand the compliance? So they want us to take upon this project. Is this factory required to do recycle claims? That what percentage they claim? It needs to be audited from end to end, you know, from the farm up to the retailer, to ensure that the price tag of the percentage is actually genuine and true. Okay, this is for bio, for the oil, biocircular. And EcoVadis is a ESG rating agency. So they are very well positioned themselves as one of the top supply chain compliance ESG rating. So you can see Price Waterhouse Global Impact, you know, SGS, they are all supporting this certification. So a company can be a member and then they have a self-assessment. And then after that, they have a rating for you, whether you are silver, gold, platinum, you know, and on the grades. So all this can be specified by the customers. For example, you know, the customers for this year, they may set it as the score of 60. If your score is below 60, you cannot be their suppliers. So this score may be pushed up, yeah, as we go by, because right now ESG is quite new. So the pool of suppliers meeting the mark is lesser. And the requirement will be for getting 60 today, right? And getting 60 next 2 years, maybe you need much more effort because they will increase the level as we go forward. Yeah. Like Busa, if you are suppliers to your customers of Busa, they have group 1, group 2, and they have a timeline that they need to have sustainability report and the carbon emission, scope 2, scope 3. You can see all this scope, right? So the ACE market is the least of all the 3 groups, right? They have an annual turnover is much lower. So they have a much loosened tight line by 2030 to have IFRS sustainability report of S1 and S2, and including of carbon emission or GHG accounting of scope 3. So if you are a large organization of 2 billion turnover and above, by this year, they have to do something about it. And last year, they have been expected to submit IFRS report and a full adoption by next year. Okay, so I believe all of us will well understand this, right? Okay, what is the benefit of ESG, right? So in terms of ESG today, why we need to that? You need to have a sustainable in your business in terms of backing on it, leading on it, or wait and see. So what we advise you is there are some companies who really putting their whole business structure, strategy of the business with sustainable. So they want to make ESG not for compliance, but also to grow their business so that you can have a few acts of improvement in your business if you go forward with that mindset. Okay, with that mindset, you know your profit margin could be bigger. As you know, the qualification, for example, like what I mentioned for Apple, the qualification is getting higher, lesser competition, better pricing. Okay, benefit of ESG, of course, Malaysian government initiative by 2050, branding, compliance, something that you need to comply by the law or comply by the customer. Okay, you can lower your cost. Okay, you can even going into difficult markets where lesser competition, right? So the whole world is evolving. Okay, right? We have a war in Iran, and then we have Donald Trump not supporting the Green Deal or not supporting ESG. Shall we stop and wait and see? I would believe these are all the questions that you will probably have in mind. Yeah, because ESG is not something like whereby you can call Mr. Bong to put the software and then put a plug and pay the money, everything will go on, right? No, ESG, you need to build the blocks along the way. So if you wait until the last minute, you may not have the time. Not the time only, you need to have the time, the money, the resources, the pool of people, just like what James Bond has mentioned regarding the resistance of change, whether they want change or not. So if you close yourself, by the end, when the customer push a button, it will be too late. So I've seen customers coming to us very late, and there are a lot of chaotic, and then trying to negotiate with the customer. Can I bypass this? Can I do that later on? You know, when the customer have no choice, of course, they will listen to you. When they have choice, they will move to other countries. They can move to Indonesia. They can move to China, back to China, Thailand, Vietnam, and elsewhere. Okay, so ESG is a requirement in a business. Earlier you get in, you get a better feel, and you are moving towards your own timeline. So if you're late, it's going to be tough because of your structure, of your people mindset, and the cost may be eventually much higher. Okay. So these are overall services that we can provide, yeah, within ESG, supply chain, impact assessment, capacity building, also EcoVadis, zero waste, and so forth. Okay. So there are many standards in the world today. So these are several standards that you can see. The one that I said about carbon border adjustment, CBAM, right? CDEX, you know, the one that I said just now, right? And even CSD triple D is corporate sustainability due diligence by 2027 or 2028, shipping to European Union, you need to comply to all this, whereby violation of environmental hazards, violation to safety and health, and the human rights, and the whole supply chain can be the accountability of the representative or your customer in Europe. And he has to pay for the penalty of maximum 5% of the total global turnover. If he has a turnover of 100 million globally, and if you are one of the suppliers violation, when caught, your customer could be paying 5 million euro to European Union. So before they get into this, you will probably understand how much pressure they're going to work with the supply chain, right? So you can see all different standards even cruelty-free, especially for cosmetic, because they do not want the cosmetics ingredient to be tested on animals. Yeah. So if you look over here, this is zero waste. Yeah, zero waste, global recycle standard, the carbon emission, product carbon footprint, e-waste. This is carbon accounting, and this is sustainability event. You know, sustainability event is just like when you have an event, you have a lot of rubbish, you have a lot of complaint around your surrounding, your stakeholders, right? So this standard is to ensure that there's no complaint, and all the props or the wooden props, you know, the display that you have is not simply thrown away, not sustainability. Yeah. Okay, different standards, energy, 50,000 energy management system, anti-bribery and anti-corruption, right? And you even have EcoVadis, Busa, right? Carbon, the ocean bioplastic, and even tourism over here as well, okay? So basically, last but not least, so this is basically our customer base, just to show, yeah, Lam Research, FGV, right? Even Dell, yeah, Nation Gate, and we have many of the Shimano supply chain in Johor because of the recent challenges. And lastly was Brady for VDA. Yeah. Okay, open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnny. Yeah, please, anybody who has any questions related to what has been put up or something related to ESG that you would like to implement and you have some questions surrounding that, feel free to put it in the chat box. Meanwhile, I think I have some questions, Dr. Johnny. So in this case, as I see that due to maybe Bursa Malaysia pushing forward the agenda, and there is a specification on 2 billion, I see, as a revenue bracket, where they need to comply with this ESG framework. Other than Bursa Malaysia, for example, I mean, they are sort of like an entity which is already governed by the government. What other entities are pushing forward the agenda, and what is to look forward in for Malaysia specific?
Okay, sustainability report is just to tell you where you are, right? So many people, especially Malaysian government, Bursa, and many banks, they are just looking at sustainability report, which is incorrect. Okay, which I want to honestly to tell you is incorrect. This is to tell you where you are, and then you have your what actually you do and where you are heading. Okay, so for Bursa, yes, there's a compliance for the listed company Listco, and if you are supplying to all these companies, you better be ready. Okay, but as you know, Malaysia is still Malaysia, right? So the wave may come slower because Malaysian companies only work when there's a stick, you know, when there's a nutty and sticks, right? So the other area that will force you to comply will be the DOSH, the JTK, the respective area environmental DOE, which you have to comply. That's very basic. You cannot run away. So we have also found companies in Portland, which they are scratching the back of the DOE and a lot of things that loophole has not been properly patched up. When the forced labor issue come in during the glove, they are also one of the glove suppliers. And when the forced labor came in from US, they obviously closed their production line one by one because the cost to repair, the cost to rebuild is too huge. Which I said, right? When the time, it is not on your timeline, your budget constraint, your customers has yet to place a PO because they will say that, please resolve this before we give you a PO. Your people not ready, doesn't understand what is it all about. And your non-conformance around patches, yeah, not been covered, and the loophole is getting bigger and much bigger, then it's going to be very, very difficult for you to move forward with sustainability. I hope I understand and also address your questions
For sure. Yeah.
correctly, Dilip.
Yeah. I
Thank you
think
for your question.
yeah. No worries. So I think the bigger agenda is to actually, because of the market need, or rather the market that is being exported to, and as well as the type of global companies or MNCs, which has more of a stronger reasons to ensure that their ASG program is in place and they are following the framework. What is the plan for the local players who are probably in a SME level? What are they supposed to look up to on a policies or something that they will have to address this as soon as possible?
Yep. So I would see the main driver is the law and regulation. For example, BUSA and all those JTK, DOE, health and safety, DOSH, and your customer. Compliance by law, mandatory, and your customer. These are the two key driver, right? Two key driver. And within the SME, there are three sections. One section is they will tag on it. They will make it the ESG as part of their marketing or business strategy. There is somebody will be wait and see. When my customers comes, I will do it. And the last one will be probably is I don't want to play this game anymore. I want to close shop. If somebody asks, that will be probably about 20 to 30% of SMEs will obviously going to close shop. So it is no surprise for that, because once they do not have a second generation, or once their mindset, because they are still sitting on their past success, for the past 30 years, 50 years, I do not need to do what is ESG, this nonsense. You wait and see, this one will die off. Okay, they will have this mindset. Why should I save the world, right? I'm here to make business. Okay, so these are the group that they were obviously going to die off. Yeah, so you better set yourself very clearly. You are the forerunners. You tag along. You want it to be a business strategy. Some is wait and see, but will do when it's been pressed. And the last one will be going against. Anyhow, I'm not going to put the money. This is unfair. Why should I solve the problem? There are many other companies that are worse than me, never do anything. They can survive. Why should I do it? All those comparisons, trying to argue their way through, and this is incorrect. This is, yeah. So these are the 20 to 30%, which we will see closing down very soon. Not now, probably 2030.
Sure. I recently had also went to a forum which was either somewhere last year. There is this grant being provided by SME Corp where they are making it stringent in order for those grants to be on a specific reasons or specific needs. That is being driven by SME Corp only by an incorporation of an ESG framework in the business, then this grant will be provided. So I believe there are some agencies in the government which is pushing forward this idea where then ESG becomes a lot more mandatory, moving forward.
Yep. I heard the government is going to make it more mandatory as they understand how Malaysian companies' mindset. There's some grants for carbon emission accounting software. Yeah, grants for carbon accounting verification. That means going for third-party audits. So, yeah, but there's no grant for doing sustainability report. Yeah, and it is a software and a third-party verification that they are giving. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think we have another 10 minutes, but then of course we are supposed to finish at 12:10. We took a little bit more time with question and answers. I think thank you so much for Dr. Johnny for giving us a
Welcome.
very strong view of ESG. Each of the subjects that you brought forward, it itself has very strong depth, and that requires time, definitely for each of the participants to digest and come back. Yeah. So I hope they will come back with a strong need or probably questions related to that. With that, I think I would like to close the webinar, but some words, last few words, maybe from Mr. Bong, Praveen, and Dr. Johnny. Starting with maybe Mr. Bong, you're around, or Praveen.
Sure. I guess what we can do here is try to reach out the lot here, and we encourage you to come talk to us on any of the topics that interest you. What we would like to have is a personalized session or a talk time or something that can come in handy to entertain your inquiries, and probably Dilip and the team here can have a like a personalized session to discuss issues, improvisation, transformations, or even some of the technology stacks that you saw, just as a rule of engagement starting now. We will try to reach out to you, I believe, in the next couple of days or weeks. So feel free to come back and ask questions, no obligation. It's better to be informed than just being where you are at present. So hopefully the session has helped you in interpreting, understanding, as also taking it to the next level. So pretty much this from me.
Thank you. Mr. Bong, do you have any words?
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think yeah, just follow whatever Mr. Praveen mentioned. Yeah, means any customer interested on certain area, then just feel free to let us know. Yeah, we can arrange a separate session to have a more detailed discussion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
yeah.
Dr. John, if you have something.
Yeah, me too. The same. Yeah, you can reach out to James, and James know, or maybe actually Dilip know where I am. Yeah, we are open heart. We are open hands. We would like to assist. This could be a longer journey. ESG is not immediate. You need to have your building blocks ready. Otherwise, just like you're going for STPM or HSC or degree holders and diplomas, you need to have the building blocks. You cannot be jumping. I think many people, they look at it, oh, now I'm planting more trees. I'm actually reducing the toilet papers, I'm reducing the flushing water. All these are very, very minute, which the customers they are not focusing on, right? So we have to understand what is the bigger impact to the climate change and to ESG from the customer perspective, rather than on your personal consumption and personal controls. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Dr. Johnny. So I think we are good. I hope all the participants gain quite a bit of information, insights, and what can be achieved in your own area of, within the operational area, or something that you want to enhance. As a matter of fact, like from ESG perspective, like many things can be done as well. Hoping that it was very useful. Give us a thumbs if you could, that you learned quite a bit here and that was useful for you, because we didn't hear much questions at all from the crowd. But if it was good, please give us some thumbs. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And hoping that you will be reaching out to us as well, and maybe we take it through to give you better consulting opportunity, to fix some areas that we can actually help on your side. Yeah. Otherwise, yes, we are waiting for your messages, contact. Have a great day today, and we will be probably meeting again with some other sessions as well. Yeah, thank you for the speakers as well. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.